Hello, my lovelies. It's June 27th. It is summertime, and so everyone's out having a wonderful time, which is fantastic. So I'm just going to give a quick overview of what's coming up so that you are not taken by surprise and caught off guard by the big shift that is about to occur. All right, so what is it? First of all, let's talk about the moon. We have the third quarter moon tomorrow on Friday. And that, of course, brings us into revising energy. So we are moving out of collaborate into iterate. We are coming into this evaluation energy. What that means is that this is the time to step back, look at what has been created, look at our why, reconnect with why are we doing what we're doing? Who is this for? What is this for? What's my purpose? What's my mission? What's my vision? What's my values? All that big picture stuff. Looking at who is our audience? Who are we doing this for? And really reconnecting with our why before we take more action. That's what the revising energy is really all about. It's discernment, deliberation, deciding what is for me, what is not for me, who is on my team, who is not on my team. And it's nothing personal. It's more like weeding your garden, right? You don't have anything against the weeds. It's just that that's not what you're trying to grow in your garden right now. That's not what's working for you. And so you're going to remove it to create more space for the plants that you do want to thrive. And maybe for new volunteers, new wildflower volunteers to pop up into your life that you never even could have imagined. At the same time, we have retrograde season kicking off. So on Saturday, Saturn Day, Saturn turns retrograde. Saturn, let's talk about Saturn. Saturn's like the strict parent of the solar system. Saturn did not come to play. Saturn is serious. Saturn is the coach that really, really wants you to win, okay? So Saturn is all about our personal power, our personal will, who we want to be, what we're here to do, but also how we go about it, our routines, our processes, our habits, especially. Saturn is all about structure. How are things set up? What is the system that we're working with here? And so when Saturn goes retrograde, this is our collective opportunity to step back and look at those systems, look at those processes, look at our habits, look at our routines and say, is this working for me? Is this how I want to be living my life? Is this the person that I want to be showing up as? I like to think of this, you can use a sports metaphor. It's like, the coach that calls a timeout and says like, get your head in the game. But I'm a theater person. And so I really like to think of this as like a LARP, right? A LARP, live action role play game. And it's like a really sophisticated one. And so it's very immersive. And so we stay in it for like long periods of time. But we take breaks. And this is our time of year, right? To take a break. This is when we go home for the day. We take off our costume, we take off our makeup, we relax, and we can just be ourselves for a little bit and get some rest, right? That's what this time really does for us. It allows us to just be our inner being again for a little while and not get so caught up in the game. And so this has positives and negatives, of course. The positives are, like I just said, that you will be able to see the big picture. You will be able to step away. You will be able to let go of all the shit that you like worry about day in and day out. All the little shit that like seems so fucking important at the time will feel less important, less urgent, less upsetting during this time. You will feel a little more disconnected from physical reality. Well, the downside of that is that it takes away some of that drive, some of that motivation, some of that practicality that you rely on in your day-to-day life. And so you may like just not feel like doing the thing. Like you may be just like, I'm not doing the dishes today. It's just really not important to me to do dishes today. And that may be okay for a while, but this lasts for a long time. So I don't get too disconnected from the reality that you are used to living in. Find that balance, right? Find a way to step back and look at things, but still show up for the things that matter. Which brings me to the next very important point, probably the most important point about retrograde season. It's all about discernment. It's all about deciding, deliberating. What is important to me? What is not important to me? Like I said, what's for me? What's not for me? And so this is the time when we really get to prioritize. Maybe the dishes are not that important, but maybe it's important to you to not have cockroaches in your kitchen or like ants or whatever it is that might happen if you don't do your dishes for long enough, right? Health, safety, these things are important. So it's all about finding that prioritizing structure for yourself. And this is not a should, this is not something that somebody else comes in and says like, hey, health and safety should be very important to you. Like if they're not, right? Be honest with yourself. Which brings us to the next retrograde on Tuesday or Tears Day. We have Neptune turning retrograde. Neptune is the planet of illusions, dreams, visions, spirituality. It is like in the realm of the unseen. Oh, and I forgot, the Saturn retrograde and the Neptune retrograde are both taking place in the sign of Pisces, which also rules the unseen and the spiritual. So this is like big, big shit. This is like your big purpose. This is, we're looking like really big picture here, stepping way back and seeing like on a karmic level, on a universal level, like what am I doing here? Why am I playing this game? What does success even look like in this context? Am I having fun? Could this even be fun or satisfying to me? How could I make it enjoyable? How could I make it more satisfying for me? So let's talk about Neptune. Neptune, the planet of illusions, is also the planet of deceptions. And so the positive of it being in retrograde means that we are not going to be taking any wooden nickels right now. We are going to be very difficult to deceive. It's going to be really hard to put one past us during this time. So you may find that long-held secrets come to light during this time. You may find that long-held deceptions fall apart. You may find that in the realm of politics or the news, things that you kind of long suspected, we found the evidence for it now, right? So things that we've sort of thought like, this doesn't quite smell right. Those are the things that we're going to start to go, yeah, that's not right. That's not how we want to do things. That's not what we're doing here. On a personal level, it's even more amplified. So this is the time where you cannot deceive yourself, even if you wanted to. You can no longer put one over on yourself. You can no longer put up with stuff that is not really working for you, and you know it. This is the time where the plastic piece blows apart. And we have confrontations and we have difficult conversations. And a lot of those times it's with ourselves, right? This is where we just sit with what is real for us. We finally stop running from it. We have no more distractions, right? School's out, like work slowed down. We're in a place where we have to just be with ourselves and look at our shit. I'm laughing because there's a part in Nova Concordia in my book where I talk about like nobody wants to look at their shit, and like it's so true, right? We will do just about anything to avoid looking at our own shit. But the thing is, our shit is so valuable. It is the compost that we need to grow anything new. And so if we do not allow it to just break down and go back into our soil, right? We can't use it. We can't put it to good use. And so we need to stop running away from it and just sit with the icky smell for a little bit, and just deal with it and allow it the time to break down and give us the gift within it. And that's really what Neptune retrograde does for us. It allows us to stop deceiving ourselves, stop deceiving other people, take off the masks, take off the rose-tinted glasses, right? Take the cotton out of our ears and just really be aware of the reality of what's going on inside and outside of us. Now, if you are concerned that this may affect your creative flow, I have some really good news. Because I was concerned about this and I did some research and I realized when planets go retrograde, their energy doesn't turn opposite, it actually turns inward. And so all of that beautiful fantasy, imagination, creative energy is going to turn inward. And so we actually have more ability to have vivid dreams, to have vivid imaginings, to have like fantasies and to like in detail to see and envision things that aren't in our physical reality yet. It allows us to go into a place where we can connect with what is real for us internally, that vortex of desire that is real for us. We have a better chance of connecting with that and seeing and experiencing it more clearly now than ever before. So it is actually the external illusions and delusions that are going to fall away at this time and give us more space, more room to play in that space of possibility and of what really feels right and true and aligned and connected for us internally. At the same time, we have Mercury moving into Leo. So Mercury, of course, the planet of communication. Leo is all about showing up and shining unapologetically as your authentic self. That's what Leo does best. And so this is that time to really shine a spotlight on what is true for you, what is real for you, and speak it out loud. Share it. Share that vision. Share that clarity, that discernment that this is for me, this is not for me. Be unapologetic in hiring and firing people from your life during this time, right? You are the CEO of your own life. You hire and you fire accordingly. And it's not personal. It's not personal. It's not about, I think this is a bad person. It's about this energy is not working for me for what I need to do in my life right now. This person is trying to help, right? I had an experience recently where someone who I know was well-intentioned and was really trying to be helpful to me came in and said a bunch of stuff that did not resonate with me at all, that did not feel true to me at all. They were trying to be, you know, tough love and give me like a reality check. And the whole thing was just like, I completely disagree. Like, I just think you're wrong and you've completely misunderstood what I'm trying to do here. You just don't get it. And actually, she kept saying that, like, I just don't get it. I was like, no, you don't. You don't get it. And that's okay. Not everybody's going to get it. Not everybody is along for this ride. And that's a good thing. Not everybody can come on this ride. And so we need to be very quickly getting rid of the stuff that does not need to be here. Because again, the abundance tap, it is on full blast. It is pouring out, but it's just pouring out everything right now. And so it can be really overwhelming and we can feel just like exhausted, like adrenal fatigue of like just dealing with all of the energy that's pouring in. And so it's about deciding, no, I don't need this stream of energy. I'm going to push that one away. I'm going to push that one away as quickly as possible to make as much space, as much room as possible to allow more and more flow of what you do want into your life to pour in. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'm always happy to answer them. Thank you.